Hello, my name is Chad Radford and I am the music editor at Creative Loafing. Atlanta to me has always been very open to gay culture, to black and white culture mingling, to all sorts of different influences coming together than they have been in any other time in the past. But I think that's just kind of culture at large. When Trump became president, I think as a natural reaction to all of the kind of the bile that he was sort of spewing, people were just like, that's not how we are. You know, this is America, and it's just a melting pot. And I think that there just became a really high cultural premium placed on inclusivity. And I think along the way it encouraged more people who are like non-white folks, non-male. I think it encouraged them. I think the encouragement and just sort of the rhetoric coming from the community maybe emboldened some folks to actually try to make music. I like to let my writers kind of drive the content to a certain degree. Like, I know there's certain things that I want to have in there that I will sort of push for, but I'll put the ball in a writer's court and say, what's going on? Tell me what's going on. And for many, many years, the struggle that I always had was every single pitch that came back to me was, you know, 4 white dudes playing indie rock. When my writers come at me, there's always there's this fourth dimensional angle. It's not just about the music, it's about how this group is sort of on a platform of social justice, some sort of change, some sort of different angle. Well, the diversity, multicultural elements are definitely a lot more visible now. The music scene, I think, is the front line of cultural change, true change. You know, I've always said, if you want to understand society, look at its pop culture. So the Hispanic presence, for example, in Atlanta. For years I remember there was a band called Satellite District, which was a Hispanic alternative rock band. And they didn't really have much of a foothold. They were all talented musicians. They had a very concentrated body of work. I think they had a hard time getting people to pay attention to them, just because I mean, they're not white, they're not black. People don't really have like a frame of reference. The local media, AJC isn't going to write about them. Stomp and Stammer isn't going to write about them. I mean, that's where Creative Loafing comes in. We need to look at those little niches that these other publications aren't dealing with. I have a good relationship with Victor Mariachi, for example, who is a young Hispanic rapper who's come down here from the northern suburbs, who's tearing it up. He's a force of nature, and the story with Victor and me is I went to La Fonda one night on Ponce and was walking down the street, and I saw a CD laying in the middle of Ponce. It had been run over a few times, and I picked it up, and it was like a mixtape for this rapper Victor Mariachi, and I was just like, it's got a crack in it. I wonder if it'll still play. Like, I was just kind of curious, is this still going to play? And I put it in my CD player and it still worked. And it was like, this is really good. And so I emailed the address and said, hey, I just picked up your mixtape in the middle of Ponce. It got run over a few times, but I like it. You know, the production is tight. Your lyrics are like nothing else anybody else is doing. So we got together, did an interview, and we premiered a couple of his songs on our website, and through that, all these other people were just like, yo, this is killer, what is this? And so we've seen Victor kind of get a foothold in the Atlanta music scene, which has been great to watch. And it's like throwing a rock into a pond. You have these ripples that start showing up. So now all of a sudden you're seeing bands like Yukons, Kibi James, Upchuck. Different blends of ethnicity are sort of being pushed out into the larger fabric of the city. I think we're at a point now where the invitation is there, and everybody is open. Like, it's not an exclusive club, and I think you're seeing that from the top down. It's the conversation that's driving everything, and again, music is on the front line. I moved here from Iowa as a music writer, and I looked around and I saw all of this fantastic music that nobody was writing about. Like, nobody was talking about Prefuse 73. Nobody was talking about MF Doom. Nobody was talking about all of this really crazy stuff that was happening here. And so all I did was came to Creative Loafing, and I said, can I write about this? This is why I want to write about this. And they said, yes, please. And so I did that, and 20 years later, I'm the last man standing.